We hear about hackers all the time, right? But how do they actually get in? You might be surprised to learn it's often less about super complex code and more about a few simple, clever tricks. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the 6 most common ways they steal your data and, most importantly, show you how to shut them down. So let's start with the big question. What do these people really want? I mean, sure, some might just want to cause a little chaos, but for most of them, the goal is way simpler and a lot more valuable.
And first, let's get one thing straight. You know those movie scenes with someone typing crazy fast, breaking through firewalls? Well, a lot of the most successful attacks, they don't look like that at all. They actually rely on something way more predictable. Us. Human nature.
And this is what they're after. Your passwords, your photos, your bank details, your private messages, it's all just data. And to a hacker, data is currency. So this isn't some abstract tech battle happening somewhere out there. It's a fight to protect your personal stuff.
That brings us perfectly to our first category of tricks. These aren't about exploiting a computer's weaknesses. They're about exploiting our weaknesses, our trust, our fear, and sometimes just our curiosity.
First up is an absolute classic you've probably heard of, phishing. Basically, a hacker creates an email or a text that looks totally legit, like it's from your bank or Netflix or even your boss. The whole goal is just to bait you into clicking a bad link or giving away your login info. And they are so good at making you feel a sense of urgency. You see a message like this and boom, your heart sinks a little. Your first instinct is to fix the problem right away, so you click without really thinking. That moment of panic? That's exactly what they're counting on. But here's how you fight back. 1. Always check the sender's actual email address, not just their name. Does it look a little weird? 2. On your computer, just hover your mouse over any link, don't click, and it'll show you the real web address. If it's some random string of letters, stay away. And 3, if you do click and the page just feels off, just close it. You know, phishing is really just one piece of a bigger puzzle called social engineering. This is the art of psychological manipulation. Instead of writing code, these attackers use stories. They might pretend to be from tech support or a friend in trouble, anything to win your trust and get you to spill the beans. So your best defense here is just a healthy dose of skepticism. If someone calls claiming to be from your bank, hang up and call the number on the back of your actual card. Never, and I mean never, share a password or one of those login codes with anyone. And just like with phishing, if anyone pressures you to act right now, that's a huge red flag.
Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. We've talked about human deception. Now let's dive into the technical traps that can be hiding in the software and networks we use every single day.
This brings us to malware, which is really just short for malicious software. Think of it like a digital germ that infects your phone or computer, usually through a sketchy download or a weird email attachment. And once it's in, it can do all sorts of nasty stuff, like spy on what you type, steal your files, or even lock your whole computer and demand money. Protecting yourself from this is all about good digital hygiene. So only download apps and files from official, trusted places, use a good antivirus program to scan things before you open them, and honestly, one of the most important things you can do is keep your software updated. Those updates often patch up the security holes that malware loves to sneak through.
Now, this next one is something we are all guilty of. We all love free public Wi-Fi, right? But here's the thing. Using an unsecured network is kind of like shouting your private conversations in a crowded room. A hacker on that same network can pretty easily eavesdrop on what you're doing and snatch things like your passwords right out of the air.
So what's the solution? Well, rule number 1, try to avoid doing really sensitive stuff like online banking when you're on public Wi-Fi. Rule 2, use a VPN. That stands for Virtual Private Network, and it basically creates a secure encrypted tunnel for your internet traffic. And rule 3, always look for that little lock icon and HTTPS in your browser's address bar. It means your connection to that website is secure.
All right, for our last section, it's time to turn the spotlight on, well, on ourselves. These aren't exactly outside attacks. They're more like open doors that we accidentally leave for hackers through our own everyday habits.
And this one might be the biggest of them all. Weak passwords and using the same password for everything. I mean, using password 123 is basically leaving your front door wide open. But the real danger, the one that gets so many people, is reusing a pretty good password everywhere. Because if just one of those sites gets breached, hackers now have the key to your entire digital life. And this really shows you the difference. Over on the left, you've got the old way.
One easy key for every single lock. But on the right, that's the smart way to do it. We're talking long, unique passphrases for every single account. You let a password manager remember them all for you, and, this is a big one, you turn on two-factor authentication, or 2FA. That's when you need a code from your phone to log in. It's a fantastic extra layer of security.
Finally, let's talk about the physical world. It's not always some hacker 1,000 miles away. Sometimes the threat is as simple as leaving your phone in a cab or someone snatching your laptop at a coffee shop. If that device isn't locked down, a thief gets a direct all-access pass to your accounts.
This is exactly why your device's built-in security is so incredibly important. Use a strong PIN or biometrics, your fingerprint or face, to lock it. Turn on features like Find My Device, which lets you track it down or even wipe all your data from it remotely if it's gone for good. And make sure your storage is encrypted, which just scrambles everything so it's unreadable without your passcode.
So we've covered a lot of ground, from phishing scams to password problems. But how do you actually turn all this info into action? Let's boil it all down and build what I like to call your personal digital shield. And here's the good news. You really don't need to be a security expert to be safe online. It all comes down to just 5 key habits. If you can make these 5 things part of your routine, you'll be in great shape.
Okay, here it is, your 5-point defense plan. Number 1, always think before you click. Number 2, use a password manager to create strong, unique passwords for everything. 3, turn on two-factor authentication on your important accounts. 4, keep your devices and apps updated. And 5, lock your devices and use a VPN on public Wi-Fi. Seriously, master these 5 habits, and you will slam the door on the vast majority of attacks out there.
So as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this one question. Don't feel like you have to do everything all at once. Just pick one thing from that list. Maybe it's finally setting up a password manager or turning on 2FA on your email account, and just do it today. So, what's the first step you're going to take?